Hey everybody, Megan Marshall here, director of the Hugh C. Hyde Living Writers series, and I'm joined by my fabulous co-host, Markel Tumlin. Hello, Markel.
Hello, Megan. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well.
Good,
Settling into
good.
the semester, trying to wipe away the cobwebs from winter break, get back in the classroom. How about
Oh,
you?
yeah. It's going well. As I was telling you earlier, I'm in a new office now. You can probably see if anybody who's watched these before might notice there's a different background behind me. I had as we call it in the library, I had a water intrusion in my old office. And so it's probably going to be a while before they fix it. So they just moved me over into this new space, which I'm actually loving quite a lot. I think I like this office a little bit better than my old one. So once I get everything in place, it's going to be awesome. I
Nice.
still have a few stray books and boxes, as you might. I tried to move them out of the view of the camera, but I still have a few around.
Well, that's okay. We won't judge you. And I love that sort of the euphemism of the water intrusion.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well,
Well,
they call it that whether it's a major flood or a drip. It's a water
yes,
intrusion.
water intrusion.
The
Um,
power of language.
oh yes, of course, we know all about that in our professions.
That's
Um,
right.
well, it's unfortunate that the beginning of the semester started off a little, with the water intrusion, not so wonderful
Yes.
for you. But give me a highlight from your winter break.
Well, my break was good. The highlight was I went up to visit my daughter up in the East Bay and had a lovely few days up there. And then when I got back, I did make it to the zoo while they were still doing the what was it called? The uh, well, when they have all the lights and stay open late. I forget exactly.
Yeah, like
Jungle Bells, Jungle Bells. Yeah, I was
oh,
there for
okay.
Jungle Bells, so that was a highlight too. I love the zoo. So,
And
and what about you? What did you do that was fun?
I spent some time with my niece and nephew, which is always awesome. It was my niece's first Christmas, so additionally special. And I did a lot of chilling, which I was
Yeah.
very happy about. I kind of
Oh
wanted to
yeah.
just do nothing, and I succeeded in doing that. So I think it was a refreshing, albeit it always feels short. Winter break always feels short to me.
It always is.
Yeah, I know, yes.
But
Well,
anyway, we have a great semester to look forward to. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. We are excited to share all about our Spring 26 lineup for the Living Writers series. And our first event is actually going to be the Lori Akuma Memorial Reading, which is going to be on Wednesday, February 18th, 7 p.m. And this is going to be held virtually via Zoom. So all of you out there who might not be able to join us in person, you are welcome to join us via Zoom. We have a memoirist, an award-winning author, Erica J. Simpson, who's going to be sharing from, this is her debut memoir. This is Your Mother, which is this lovely cover here. And I discovered her work. She was actually named as one of the top um, creative nonfiction writers of last year, 2025, from Poets and Writers magazine. So, and I thought, we haven't had a memoirist or someone who's writing in the medium of creative nonfiction for living writers in a while, so that she would be a great addition to the series.
Yeah, I noticed right away that she's also an MFA graduate from my alma mater, University of Kentucky. So that leapt that at me. Another thing that I really found interesting when I was reading a little bit about her was one of the interviews I read with her. They asked her if she was going to teach a class on what was called damn good writing,
Mhm.
what would be on the list. And the first thing she mentioned was Parable of the Sower by Octavia Butler,
Yes.
which I just read in a book club of mine like a few months ago, which is a fantastic book, highly recommended.
Mhm.
And I also thought it was interesting that what she was reading then at the time of the interview was Parable of the Talents by Octavia Butler, which is also essentially a mother-daughter story. I don't know
Yes.
if you've read that, but I thought, oh, well, that's interesting that she has this great memoir about mothers and daughters and that she's kind of focused on this literary work about mothers and daughters as well. So,
Yeah, well, that makes a lot of sense because, as you had noted, and you could, I imagine from the title, right? This is your mother. It's a lot about the mother-daughter relationship. It's about family. It's about loss. It's about kind of what we leave behind, lineage. And one of the other reasons why I really loved this work is that it's kind of unique in its structure. I don't want to give too many things away, but there's
okay.
an epistolic aspect. She also has worked as a playwright, so you kind of see that. She writes for the page and for the screen, so you see that influence. So I think it's a unique book, and it's just I think anyone can connect with some of these themes and the things that she discloses.
Awesome. I'm glad we're having a memoirs because, like you said, we haven't had a lot of those, and it's actually been kind of a growing genre in the last several years.
Hmm.
There've been quite a few that have done quite well in the marketplace and been quite well received by the critics as well. So,
Yeah, I think, so it's a great choice. And also, if you've ever been sort of lauded by Roxane Gay as a writer who's absolutely going places, as Erica J.
oh
Simpson has,
yeah, I
I
noticed
think,
that too. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, you sort of like made it in that sense. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that event. So again, Wednesday, February 18th, 7 p.m. on Zoom.
Cool.
And let's see, that takes us to our next event, which is also in February. So Wednesday, February 25th, 7 p.m. in our favorite place, Love Library, room 430. Yes, we have acclaimed author and editor Francois Barreau. Francois also went through the MFA program at SDSU several years ago, and a lot of the stuff that he started writing, part of his manuscript in the MFA program, which eventually went on to become the
Yeah.
collection of short stories.
I hope my copy too.
Stories. Yeah,
Mine's a little blurred, but you can see it there.
yeah. Sort of
Yeah, I went over to the
quintessential.
bookstore just to look at the books yesterday or the other day, a few days ago. And when I was flipping through this one, I'm just going to buy this right now. So, because, it looked really, really great. I'm looking forward to reading it.
Mhm. Yeah, it's a great collection, as the name suggests, right? It's all kind of has at least the setting or partial setting or mention of San Diego, and I think anytime we can celebrate our
Yeah.
fabulous city, right? And also all of its faults, or its its
Hmm.
faults and its grit, along with the beaches and what we're known for tourist attractions. I think Francois really captures that through some very, very compelling, relatable characters. And he has a novel coming out in a couple weeks, so he might share a little bit of that as well. But San Diego Stories is what I am teaching in my class. We actually had a great discussion of it on Wednesday evening, and so anybody who's San Diego native, San Diego transplant, or
Yeah.
just anyone who loves short stories, this would be a great book for you. And
Yeah, I think he was not originally from San Diego, what I read. I think he moved here at some point. Or am I
yes,
wrong about that? Yeah.
no, yeah. So he's not a native, but he has been here for several years.
Yeah,
And he's actually,
that's the impression I had.
yeah, he's a full-time math professor at Miramar College,
Oh,
which
that's
we'll
another thing
forgive
that
him.
oh,
We'll
well,
forgive
I
him.
was going to say, Megan, that's another thing that appealed to me because, I might have mentioned this to you at some point in the past, but when I first went to college, I was a math major.
Yes, I think I remember you telling me
That
about
was my
that.
first declared major. It didn't last more than a year, but it was my first declared major.
Mhm. Well, then you came over to the dark side, essentially.
Or maybe I left the dark side.
I
I
know.
don't
Well,
know.
yes.
That's how it felt at the time anyway. So,
Um, so yeah, so Francois he's also a fiction editor at Twin Bill. He reads for a bunch of other journals. He's just all around a very good literary citizen. So, math professor aside, he's a great literary citizen, and I think he's going to give,
excellent.
yes, engaging reading. February
I'm
20th.
looking forward to meeting him. Yeah.
All right, that takes us to our next reading. So now we're moving forward to March. We have Wednesday, March 11th, 7 p.m., Love Library, room 430, with our San Diego Poet Laureate, Paola
Mhm.
Capo Garcia. She's our second Poet Laureate. She's serving until 2027, and she's going to be reading from some of her newer work, but from her debut collection, which is called Clap for Me, That's Not Me. Just you can see it has a very unique presentation already, and very, very unique, interesting, quirky, subversive, funny poems in the collection.
Yeah, I was interested in one of the things that she said that she likes to teach in her classes because I think is she the one that teaches at High Tech High? I think.
She did, and now
Yeah.
she designs
Oh,
professional
okay.
development opportunities. So yeah,
Oh, okay. Okay.
she was.
Anyway, it mentioned in one of these articles that one of the things she likes to teach is radical literature.
Mhm.
And I was like, well, is that politically radical or stylistically radical or both?
Mhm.
So that's a question I might have for her the night that she speaks. So.
hmm Yeah, I would venture to say both. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, it'd be interesting to hear her speak more about that. And it was great. I met her actually at the KPBS book fair that they had. What was that in?
Okay. That
Not
was in August, I
August.
think, wasn't it?
Right.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yes. Yeah. In August. She gave a great reading. And I had been thinking I would love to get her to come and be part of the Living Writers series, especially being San Diego Poet Laureate, another great literary citizen all around. So, and she agreed right away, and I'm very excited about featuring her work and having her come and read on March 11th.
Yeah, I think she's only about halfway through her tenure as a poet laureate. I think she's got another year to go. Yeah,
Yeah.
I loved one of her quotes where she said that she was driven to demystify poetry,
Mm-hmm.
and so that it would reach more people, And I think I really like that. And I was also impressed by the fact that in her an interview I found with her that was on KPBS, she did name check Ilya Kaminsky, which I always appreciate too. So
Yes, yes, an SDSU beloved, Ilya Kaminsky.
yes,
Um,
exactly.
and demystify, I could definitely see that with her work as an educator, especially for young people. And I think, it'll be interesting to hear her talk a little bit more about her project. Everyone as a laureate, you sort of have a particular community-based project that you work on throughout your tenure. So I'm interested to see, what her vision is for the poetry community in San Diego.
Excellent.
Okay, next up we have Wednesday, March 18th, 7 p.m., Love Library, room 430. We have award-winning poet, scholar, and electronic literature pioneer, Amaranth Borsak. So this is exciting. This is a collaboration between Living Writers, the Digital Humanities Initiative, Department of English and Comparative Literature, and sort of a newer entity, Cal HumeTech Initiative. So I think which focuses more on just like the Digital Humanities Initiative, born digital literature, bringing digital humanities into the classroom. And while Amaranth has actual physical books out, this was been out for a while.
Yeah.
The book is Object as Content as Idea as Interface. So this was from the MIT Press Essential Knowledge series, but she has a new book coming out of these sort of collaborative poems, visual poems, fragments, which is called Wash, which I think she's going to be sharing from. It's not going to be out until I think March 4th, but she is going to be sharing from that
Okay.
when she comes
Well,
to
that
read on the
explains
18th.
why I couldn't find a copy of it then,
Yes,
because
yeah,
I went
it's
looking for that one. I'm
not
like,
even
oh, I
out
can't
yet.
find it. Yeah, that one, the book that you just held up, though, I think we have that available electronically through one search in the library. Because I was looking it up and I was able to read a big chunk of it right online. So
Mhm.
if anybody hasn't seen it yet, you can see it there. And also, what was the uh, oh yeah, and we had another book of hers that was actually on reserve. That was just basically a bunch of published shapes, geometric shapes. But then you had to go online to get it to display the text that went with those shapes. So it was a real wedding of the electronic and the print. And that seems to be like a big interest of hers. And so I'd be interested to hear a lot more about that.
Yeah, I think if you check out her website, she has a lot of the past sort of projects. She's done a lot of installations. So I think, what's really interesting is just sort of this cross-pollination of genre. As you mentioned, you've got the page, you've got this electronic interface. She worked with an engineer to develop an app that you can download for free, and it's like this interactive poetry app that
Yeah.
she worked on with another collaborative poet. So she's really doing a lot of innovative projects, I think, embracing
Yeah.
our maybe too much of a dependence on digital mediums, but while still keeping, the human in the humanities,
Yeah.
not leaning, too far into say like AI.
Yeah, when I was looking at her book, The Book, there was something in there about the book represented a transition from oral to print
Hmm
culture.
hmm
And right now, it seems like what she is dealing with is a kind of a transition from print to electronic culture. And so, it's interesting to see how those two kind of speak to each other.
hmm Yes, absolutely. And her presentation is going to be heavily visual. So she's going to be kind of showing us this new project and these kind of new interfaces. And so that's going to be a great one for, especially if you're interested in anything, digital humanities, then it's going to be the event for you to check out.
Excellent. Be there.
Yes. Well, yes, of course, we're going to be there. So yeah. Okay, so now we're moving forward into our last two events. So we're looking at April now. We have Wednesday, April 15th, 7 p.m., Love Library, room 430. Award-winning poet, translator, and scholar Piotr Florchek. He's going to be, so he had a recent translation project that he worked on with the poet Jacob Kornhauser, which is Hemorrhages and Squirrels. If the title of that doesn't intrigue you, then I don't know what would. It's this delightful collection. I know, Markel, you and I were just talking a little bit about
I
this.
was going to say, if the title doesn't intrigue you and draw you in, the poems will, because they're really fun.
Mhm.
Yeah, what did I call them? Little surrealistic nuggets. I just loved them. Yeah.
Yeah, just these little kind of fun, unexpected prose poems. I like the term
Yes.
nugget. They're like these little snacks that just,
Yeah.
yes,
Because they're
sustain.
all fairly short, but they get so much going on in them, you know? It's just, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, so that's the newest project, and then Pio will likely be sharing some of his own work as well. He actually came to Read for Living Writers back in 2015, so a little over 10 years ago, and this was his book, Los Angeles Sketchbook, which is a pretty cool presentation. As the name suggests, you've got images to complement the poems throughout,
Yeah.
kind of based on a sort of like a flaneur walking through the streets of Los Angeles. Um, and
Wonderful.
Piotr is also a wonderful translator, as we see with the work of Jacob Kornhauser, but he's translated several other Polish poets, and he's done a lot of work for us at Poetry International as well. So in issue 29, which we just celebrated last semester, he has a folio of Polish poets that he's translated there.
And he's also an SDSU MFA. One
Yes.
of the many degrees he has. We said he went on to get an MA and a PhD at USC, but yeah, he did have a stop here along the way.
Hmm.
And
Yes.
yeah, like I said, translator, writer, just all around a talented person.
Yes. Great scholar. So we're lucky to be hearing from him in April. And that takes us to our final event of the semester. I thought it would be a great way to close out the spring series by celebrating the work of our beloved SDSU MFA professor, Blas Falconer. So this is Wednesday, April 29th, 7 p.m., Love Library, room 430. He's going to be reading from his most recent award-winning book, Rara Avis, which is just this sort of heart-wrenching, but also heartening, powerful collection of poetry.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm always happy when Blas reads, and or any of the people in the program read. But yeah, Blas is such a great reader and such a great poet. And I'm really looking forward to hearing the latest poems. Do you know if he's selected what he's going to read yet, or is he
I
still
don't
working?
Yeah, I don't think so yet. I mean, he has just come off of the book tour. So the book came out
Oh, okay.
yeah, in 2024. So he's done several events, and since then the book won the Tom Gunn Award, which
Oh,
is,
oh, wow,
yeah,
very nice.
a significant honor. Um,
Yeah.
so he's he's a seasoned reader. So but maybe
Well, I
because
was going to say it's always good to catch him after the book tour because he's already had time to uh, try them out on his audiences, and I'm sure he'll pick the ones that work best on the tour. So
Mhm. Yeah, or
yeah, so
maybe
we'll be in for a treat. Yeah,
Yeah, or maybe because he's sort of like at home, maybe he'll read from like the B-sides, or maybe he'll try out something new.
yeah.
And he's also been working on some translations, and he also has some new work that he's working on now. So perhaps we'll hear some new poems, which will be
Oh,
cool.
that'd be nice. Yeah, great.
Yeah. Yeah, so that is our series for the spring semester. We hope that you will be able to join us for at least one or more. And know that whenever I am able for those in-person events and also for the Zoom events, if you're not able to make it, I record them and post them up on the Hugh C. Hyde Living Writers YouTube channel. So check them out there. You can also check out some original content generated by students enrolled in the Living Writers course at SDSU, their responses to the works that we've been looking at. So there's lots of great content for y'all to check out. So please like, subscribe, drop us a little comment, or just come visit us in Love Library or on Zoom at some point this semester.
All right. Well, thank you, Megan.
All
Good
right,
seeing you, and I look forward to seeing you throughout the semester.
I know. Yes, thank you too, Mark. Appreciate your time.
All
All right.
right. Take
Bye.
care.